everybody. I am so sorry that I can't be there with you today, but I made this video for you and I am sure you're going to do a wonderful job on it. We are going to be drawing some line landscapes. So you're going to be using line to create a really awesome mountain scene, and I am really excited to get back and see what you have all created. Remember to take your time, don't rush, make it personal to you, and have fun with it. That is the most important thing. All right, everyone, so here we go. As you can see, I have my paper here and I have all my supplies. I have my pencil, my Sharpie, and I also have some colored pencils. And that's all you're gonna need for this project. So the first thing I'm going to do is sign my name. I'm gonna put my name on my paper. I'll just put Mr. B, and then I'm gonna flip it over, and that way I won't have to worry about adding my name after. I know that my name is on the paper. So what we're gonna do to start this project is you're gonna make some dots. And I hope that you can see this in the camera. And I'm gonna start with one dot all the way on the left side, and then I'm gonna go up and down and up. And I'm moving my hand over as I make the dots, so that the dots go across the paper. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can do more, but don't do too many because then it might be a little tough for you. So once I have my dots done, then I'm gonna use my pencil to connect the dots, which is kind of fun. So I'm taking that pencil and I'm connecting to this one, and I'm gonna try and keep it pretty straight, but it's okay if your pencil gets a little shaky because these are actually gonna be mountains, and sometimes mountains have a little bit of wiggle to them. So now I have this zigzag line on my paper, and the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my pencil again and I'm gonna draw a line down from these dots, and I'm gonna actually kind of squiggle a little bit. So I drew a line that squiggles down, and then this one I'm gonna do the same thing, except that maybe I'll squiggle this way. I like to kind of squiggle over a little bit. That way it kind of looks like you're looking at the edge of the mountains. Again, here I go, squiggle, and this one, and finally this one's gonna go right off the paper. So now I have, looks like 1, 2, 3 mountains, and then you sort of see the edge of this mountain. Then I'm gonna take my pencil again and I'm gonna draw these diagonal lines. I'm gonna start on the left side of my paper and I'm gonna draw lines up at an angle towards that squiggle. And I'm gonna stop once I get to the squiggle. And it's okay if your lines aren't straight. Again, nothing is really super straight in nature. Things are a little bit off. And actually, it looks kind of cool if you have a little bit of a squiggle. And then I'm gonna hop over this section and I'm gonna jump to this one. And I'm gonna do the same thing, kind of keeping those lines going up and stopping at the squiggle. You can do lots of lines or just a few, depending on how detailed you want your artwork to look. There we go, I'm getting down to the end of this one and I'll stop. So now I'm gonna jump over this section and go to this one. Oh, and that one I actually did a little squiggle, and if you do end up having a squiggle in your line, try and keep that same squiggle going as you go down, which looks pretty cool. It looks very like wavy. And actually, I think I kind of like the wavy lines better than the straight lines. That's what happens sometimes in art. You discover things while you're doing it that you like. Maybe you didn't intend to do that when you started, but then you realize it looks pretty cool. All right. Oh, and I almost forgot this one. Right off the edge. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing, except the lines are going to go downwards. And they don't have to connect. If you want them to all connect, that's okay. If you want it to look really clean, but I like actually when it's not totally connecting, because if you imagine that these are mountains, and this is one side of the mountain, and this is the other side of the mountain, and this squiggle in the middle is kind of like maybe a trail going up the mountain that someone has to really climb up. And by doing this, by making these lines go downward, I'm really showing the shape of the mountain. And I know these don't look super realistic, but they look pretty cool. And again, some of you might want to use rulers. To my older students, if you want to use a ruler to make the lines very, very straight, it'll look almost geometric. All right, so now I have my mountains, and the next thing I'm going to do is trace with my Sharpie. And that will take a little while. Oh, and I almost forgot. If you're using Sharpie in your classroom, get a scrap piece of paper and put it on the edge. So that way, if you go off the edge of your paper, it doesn't go on the table, it goes right onto your paper. And then you don't have to worry about stopping before the edge of the paper. And tracing over can be really hard. For my younger students, this is optional. You don't have to trace with Sharpie, but I think it looks really cool when you do. It makes all those lines really pop out. And so I'm not gonna spend the whole video making you watch me trace, because I know that's probably gonna take up too much of your time. So I will just finish tracing this one, and then I'll show you the next step. Tracing is fun. Going over your lines, it takes a lot of focus. And if you do mess up a little bit, like you go outside of your pencil line a little bit, you can simply erase the pencil. The Sharpie will not be erased. So I'm gonna erase the lines, my pencil lines, and that way I won't even see them. I also put on my my sheet, if you want to make it even more detailed, you could put like a sun or a moon in the sky. So I put a little circle there that could either be a full moon or it could be a sun rising over the mountains. And maybe you want to put some more lines in the sky. That's what I did on my step-by-step sheet. And when you get to the mountains, just hop over them. And we're really just filling in the paper with these lines. And then you get to take those colored pencils and fill in each section with different colors. So I'm gonna start with this really nice blue. And my substitute teacher has lots of different colored pencils that have all been cleaned and sanitized for you. So you can kind of explore those different colors. The great thing about colored pencils is that there are so many different shades of one color. So there's sky blue and medium blue and really dark blue, and you can really kind of explore different blues. Or maybe you want it to be the green mountains, like the Green Mountain State. So you want to do the whole mountain with different shades of green. You get to kind of be the decider here. And of course, the great thing about art is that you don't have to do it realistically. Maybe you want it to be rainbow mountains. Or maybe this is a fantasy land where all the mountains are different colors. So I'm kind of rushing here because I want you to be able to start on your project. But you can see that I'm really trying to use my color in those different sections. And let's see what it looks like if I go in with green, kind of creating a pattern. So blue, green, blue, green, blue, green. Another fun thing you can do with colored pencils is maybe stop halfway and say, what does it look like if I do one of these sections half green, half yellow? Blending those colors together is kind of fun with colored pencils. And if you want to show shading, which is a little bit tricky, some of you may have done this before, but if you want to show shading, you take your colored pencil and you press down real hard on the side that you want to be darker. And then as you get up closer to the other side, you start to ease up on the pressure that you're putting on the pencil. And by doing that, you're creating a little bit of shading. So it's gonna start really dark down here, and it's gonna start kind of lightening up as you get towards the mountain peak. And that, again, is kind of a tougher thing to do. So if you want to try to explore that, you can. Or just have fun with it. And I will, unfortunately, I will be out for 2 days. So I'm hoping that this project will take you 2 full art classes and really try and fill in all that white space. And then in the sky, I can do my bright yellow sun. And again, you can explore with shading if you want. Something that I've always enjoyed doing is trying to make my suns kind of start with some warmer oranges in the center, and then as I go out, I kind of shade. I ease up on the pressure so that it kind of looks like a flaming ball of fire, like the sun is. So I hope you have fun with this project. Please don't forget to put your names on it. And I really am looking forward to being back with you all in the art room. But I'm sure you are going to do great work. So thank you again for your patience, and get started. Have fun, everybody.